today's tutorial we'll be looking at functions. Okay, so the question is saying the function f and g are defined by f of x, which is x plus 9 divided by 2, and also the g of x is equal to x minus 2. Find one. Roman numeral 1 is saying find the inverse of that. This is the inverse of the function. That's the way they denote it whenever we're looking at the functions. So this is the inverse of the function. Secondly, saying the f of x, the f of g, the function of f of g. Thirdly, saying the f of g negative 5. All right, let's start. It's very much easier. We start with the first one. So this is the inverse of the function. So the inverse of the function is being denoted by the inverse. This is solution number 1. So this is the inverse of the function that we are trying to solve. Okay. So the inverse of the function is denoted by f of x, that's 1, x, the inverse. Then we bring the function. Since here there is f, so we're going to pick the function of f. But if there was a g here, we could have picked this function for g. But since there is f, so we're going to get the function of f. Okay. So it will be the function of f of x. F of x is equal to x plus 9 over 2. Okay, so the concept is that here where there is x, we're going to replace, we're going to put y. Since we are finding the inverse of the function, where there is x, we're going to replace with a y. So it's going to be, I'm going to replace, I'm going to put y is equal to x plus the video. I'm going to replace here where there is x, I'm going to put y. Okay, so it will be y is equal to x plus 9 over 2. So here we'll just try and balance the stuff. So I'm going to divide by 1 here. So whenever you see an equal sign, just know that you are dealing with multiplication there. So I'm going to cross multiply here. So this one times this one. So here y times 2, I'm going to have a 2y. Okay, have a 2y here. So all these from here, they're going to multiply by 1. So a number of that can be multiplied by 1, just the number itself. So these, they'll just come the way it is. So it's like x times 1, I'm going to have x positive. 9 times 1, I'm going to have a 9. Okay. So these, they'll just come just the way they are. Okay. They'll just flow. They'll just become, they'll just drop the way they are. Then here the concept is you make x there the subject to the formula. So meaning that the x here, it has to remain alone. Okay. So I'm going to have 2y is equal to 2y. This 9 is going to cross the equal sign. So whenever since this 9 is a positive, it's going to cross the equal sign. Once it crosses the equal sign, it's going to become a negative. Okay. So it will be 2y minus 9 is equal to x. So here I have made my x the subject to the formula, but it's not in order like to leave your answer just like that. So the way you can, if you leave it here, it will just be hanging. Okay. So you conclude by saying the inverse of the function f of x is equal to 2y minus 9. You've concluded. This is your answer. This is now the inverse of the function. The inverse of the function x plus 9 over 2 is this one as our final answer. Hope it's clear. In case there are questions, you can drop them in the comment box. We move on to the second one. We are now done with the first one. We found the answer for the inverse. We now move on to the second Roman numeral. So the second Roman numeral is saying the f of g. This one, it's very simple, but it's very, very much confusing. More like you don't understand what you're doing. So if like you don't really pay much attention to it, you can get it wrong, because it's like it's like sets. A set is a subset, a set inside another set. So that's the meaning here. So here the meaning is that since this f is outside, this f is outside, the g is inside. So the g is going to be inside of f, meaning that inside this f, we're going to put the function of g. Anywhere where there is x, we're going to replace with this function, which is g. So what's the function of f? The function of f, it's this one. So where there is x, where there is this x here, we are going to put this function. That's the meaning. Okay, so it's going to be, what's the function of f is this one, right? So it's starting with x. Okay, so it's starting with x, right? The function is starting with x. So anywhere where there is x, I'm going to replace with this function. That's the meaning which is behind the f of g. Okay, that's the meaning which is behind there. So where there is x, I'm going to put this whole function. So saying x, I'm going to put this function. So x minus 2. This is my x minus 2. Here what is remaining? Plus 9 over 2. So I'm also going to bring it. Okay, plus 9 over 2. Now we are done. Now this is now my fg of x. So inside the function of f, I've put this function, this one. So this function is inside here. That's the meaning here. Since this g is on the middle, we're having f, we're having x here. Since the g is on the middle, this function of g is going to be inside of this on the middle. But if it was this f which was on the middle, the opposite could have happened. Okay, so now from here we can play along. Okay, we can play along with them. So x, these are just, we can just play with them integers, graded mathematics. Okay, so negative 2 plus 9, we're going to have something like a negative times a positive, it's a negative. So I'm going to subtract, but I'll maintain the sign of a bigger number. So 9 minus 2, I'm going to have a 7. Okay, but I'll maintain the sign of a bigger number, which is positive 7. So I'm going to positive 7 over 2. This is my answer as the function of f, g, and x. Hope it's clear. In case there are questions, you can drop them in the comment box below. We move on to the last question. The last question is saying find fg negative 5. So as you can see, this is the fgi. This is what we have found as the fg. So now here they have put what? Negative 5. So this negative, anywhere where there is x, I'm going to put this number, negative 5. Okay, so it's going to be negative 5 over 2. Like this. Integers, now we play along with them again. So positive times a negative, it's a negative. So I'll subtract and then I'll maintain the sign of a bigger number. So 7 minus 5, I'm going to have 2. So I'm going to have 2 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2, I'm going to have a 1. So the fg of negative 5 is equal to 1. Thank you so very much for watching. Please share the video and like. Please subscribe. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.